Good morning. It's beautiful. Spring here in Wales. Restrictions lifted at last. Been a mad year, but it's given me a chance to reset, I think. So what I thought I'd do today is come up here, Brecon Beacons National Park, Waterfall Country, and try to come up with something different. It's about a quarter of a mile to the nearest waterfall. We'll just deal with one today and just try to be different, because for photographers this is quite a regular haunt for them. So what I'm going to try to do is something out of the norm. Here we are, top car park. That's one of the falls, not today though. But you can see what's on offer. It's brilliant. A nice map for you to follow. There's some more spectacular ones just to the left, and there's the ones people are more aware of, the ones you can walk behind, and they're more spectacular really, but the ones we go into are really nice and quite common for the families to come up here, picnic. It's not too much of an effort to get to, so that's going to be perfect for the first video that we're going to do. So it's just a matter of joining me really on this trip and other trips, and seeing what you think, seeing where I live, and you know what we got on offer down here in South Wales. So I'll see you in a bit when we get to the fall, okay? Look at this, beautiful, isn't it? Crystal clear water, no one around. I know it's a Monday, but this is a really popular place. Got it all to ourselves this morning. It's cracking. Really good. And in spring as well. There's some green on the trees. Yeah. Quite happy. Yeah, a chance to have a reset. The last year have made us all rethink things perhaps, and I was getting a little bit stuck in the mud with my photography, so it was a chance just to put the camera down, do a bit more walking, enjoy the place where I was living really. And now we're out of lockdown, let's hope it's the last one. I can start appreciating little things like this. I've always walked past this part, never paid it any attention, but it's beautiful. Come on, bloody Jayne. I tell you what, Jayne Libby, you'll be seeing a lot more of her. She's an award-winning composite photographer, and that's another thing we'll be doing, is taking scenes and creating composites. Well beyond me, I'm useless, but she is all singing and dancing when it comes to Photoshop, so that's all to be done. The only trouble is she's slow. I'm a quicker walker than her. That's beautiful too, the run of the water. There's plenty of shots up here without photographing waterfalls. There you are, look. Look how slow she is. Proper girl, look at her. I got a wife exactly like that. Crap walkers. I do love my trees. As everybody who knows me knows. Oh, this is beautiful this morning. Stunning. We are here anyway. This is the top of the fall, and it depends what type of photographer you are. I tend to be more minimalistic and fine art, but to get the bigger picture in, this is one composition you could be looking at, and I will take a look at this when I come back. But the main falls are just over the top of there, and that's what I'll be concentrating on. I'm not going to be preaching to you, because what you do is what you do. I'm a bit of a rebel. I don't stick to the rules anyway. I'm more minimalistic, fine art. And over the years, what I've tended to have done is not take the bigger picture, as so many landscape photographers do. I tend to take sections out of it now. Use longer lenses perhaps, get in tight, as many long exposures as I can. When we get to the bottom now, I'll show you what the typical composition is, and then you'll see then, or I'll give you some idea what I'll be doing this morning to get something different out of it. Here we are now at the base of the waterfall, sorting my wellies out, and I'm just going to go through now what the typical landscape photographer shot may be. You know, it's all down to taste really, but you'll be plonking your tripod here, using perhaps the rock or some moss as a foreground interest, and use the river then as a lead-in to the cascade, which is fine. You know, I've been coming here since 1984, using film then obviously, and that's what I would have taken, and I've taken it since. But today I'm just looking for something completely different really, more my taste. So what I'm going to do, side on to the waterfall, I'm going to move in closer, and I'm going to start looking for compositions on the side using minimalism really, and using slow shutter speeds to create effect. Okay, before we start, I'm just going to show you now what's in the bag. At the moment I'm using a Z7 Mark II. I was using a Nikon D850 and a Nikon Z6. Brilliant cameras, but the weight on the Nikon D850 was ridiculous. So I went to my friends in Carmarthen Cameras, Chris and Sean, and I traded them in for the Z7, which is a brilliant mirrorless camera. Now then, I still have my prime lenses. I still have my Nikon 24 to 70 2.8, and I still have my Sigma 70 to 200 2.8. I won't part with them, but what I'm using today is a native lens to the Z7, which is the 24 to 200 f4 to f6.3, which, to be fair, is fine for a landscape photographer. I don't need to open the aperture no more than that anyway. And the reason I've gone for a kit lens is because of the reach. I don't need to change the lenses, especially in this environment when you've got spray and God knows what floating about. So that's what I'm using now. I've got Lee filters, and I'll be using slow shutter speeds, using the Lee little stopper, which is 6 stops of light, the big stopper, which is 10 stops of light, and I also got a super stopper, which I very rarely use. So I got the filter holder on. Benro tripod, which I've had for years. It needs a change now, but it's been a good servant to me. Always spare batteries. Cable release. And most important, where do I put them? Glasses, because I'm blind as a bat. So I'm all set to go then. Got my filters. Yeah, got everything I need now. Wiping cloth, very important, because you're going to get a little bit of spray. And I'll be setting my ISO to 64 as low as I can, because I want that blur. My wife Sue hates blurry waterfalls and rivers. I love them. So tough. So I'll be looking at shutter speeds anything over 2 or 3 seconds anyway. Put my man bag on. There we go. Right, I think that's it. Okay then, so I'm going to make my way around. Are you coming, Jayne, or what? Come on. Come on, hurry up. See, that's why I work alone. Okay, first composition. Just along the side of the waterfall there's some primroses. And what I've done is come in 200mm and I'm focusing just on the primrose. So the image I've got at the back of the camera, Jayne can just come around here, take a look. I've focused there on the primrose, and there's a splash of colour, the green mosses. No need for a long shutter speed, although you can see it's quite slow anyway. I've got the histogram, very important tool to use, more towards the left, which is the dark side, and that's really for the benefit of the primroses. I want to keep them subdued. I'm going to bring the colour out and the exposure in post. Picture taken now. I'm quite happy with that. It's different. What I'm going to do now is swing around a little bit, concentrate on the water. Now, what I'm seeing is the water hitting those rocks, and I'm looking at a good, strong, long shutter speed to give effect around those rocks. You've got the green as well, which is quite, you know, eye-catching. Also, I want to take the water stream to the left of that as well, but that's another shot again. What I'm going to have to do is just have a fiddle about until I find something that looks good at the back of the camera. When I do, then I'll deal with the shutter speed and the f-stop after that. Okay, what I've done now is focused on that cluster of rock there, and the histogram not clipping, that will be fine for me. And I've got an exposure of just 1 second, but that's not long enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the 6-stop neutral density to give me something more substantial as far as the shutter speed is concerned. These filters haven't been out for a while. Okay, I'm on 20 seconds, f11, ISO 64. No clipping going on with the Instagram. I could go a little bit wider really, but I'm going to take the first shot. Let it cup. See what I'm looking at, and then I can alter my composition. I'm already seeing another one anyway. I'm using portraits orientation at the moment, which I tend to prefer, to be honest with you. Right, here we go, let me have a look. And this is the effect I've just had. If Jayne could come around here again. This is what I was looking at, and this is what I've just taken.
That's stunning, Dave.
And that is very minimalistic. That is very, dare I say it, Gary Goff. Yeah, and that works. Again, a little bit of cropping maybe.
That's nice, Dave. You're not as dull as you look.
No, no, no. Quite comfortable, you know. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, again, that rock is of interest to me. It's just breaking away, look. And I love the way the water is just smashing down on top of it. So I'm going to portrait on this one. And get as much of that rock in as I can. Let me have a look. Oh, lovely jubbly. You know, I love it when a plan comes together. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move around and get some head-on shots on the waterfall. But again, I'm not changing what I've started. I quite enjoy this new way at looking at this waterfall. What I'm going to do as well, I'm going to take advantage just of the bottom section, create a letterbox if you like. So I'm going to have to sort the tripod out to make sure it's level up the camera and do a pano. And I'll have just a long exposure of the bottom half of the waterfall. Okay, I'm leveled up. Camera's level, tripod's level. I'm going to start over there, work my way to there and see where that takes me. 13 seconds, F11 again. Let's get plenty of depth of field. First shot. Stunning sunlight at the minute. That's the first one. Move over a tad. Second shot. Again, it's completely different to what the normal is. I may be put right on that. Perhaps there's somebody else who's doing exactly the same. I'm sure there is. But this is something I'm preferring to the bigger vista, you know. Next shot. Feeling a bit of spray here, so I'll have to check. There's no water on the filter. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our little morning's excursion down to the waterfalls. If you like what you've seen, do us a favour, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell, as they say. Got to thank a few people. Jayne, of course, who've been brilliant. She picked up vlogging overnight to be honest with you. Without her, I wouldn't be doing this. People who've inspired me, Gary Goff, Paul P. Johnson, Marley Davis, and of course my old mate Gareth Danks. They've all, suggested maybe I should give it a try. Well, here we are. There's plenty more on offer. What we're going to do now, go down to see our friends at Command and Cameras. I need to get a decent vlogging camera for Jayne, and well, look out for the next one. Please write some comments. Be really interested in what you think and what you'd like to see. I'm hoping to bring in local photographers as well, and hoping the likes of Gareth. Who knows if Gary, Marley, Paul comes down to our area, Paul Compton maybe, we can join them and meet up. Thanks for that anyway, I really enjoyed it. Thanks Jayne for putting up with me. I've had to put up with her, so it's feelings mutual there. I'm sure I got something in the back of the camera slightly different anyway. So, bye, see you soon.